Sorry for the wait, Mr. Flores. I am ready to take you now.
Take me? Take me where?
Now, there's no need to be nervous.
Nervous? No. It's just your appearance. It's a little intimidating.
Intimidating? Me? But I'm your friend. My name's Manny Calavera. I'm your new travel agent.
I don't want a new travel agent. I want to go home.
You can't go home, Celso. You're dead. But you're not alone. Everybody here is just as dead as you. That's why we call it the land of the dead. Are you ready for your big journey?
No.
The Day of the Dead, film noir, the adventure genre. What do all these things have in common? Grim Fandango, an adventure game about mystery, intrigue, and lots of skeletons. Developed by LucasArts as yet another one of their innovative adventure games, the roots of LucasArts, however, go beyond just one genre. The year is 1977. The first Star Wars film makes George Lucas a household name, launching a new cultural phenomenon. Knowing what Lucas was capable of, it was easy to anticipate what his next moves were in the movie industry, but it was difficult to anticipate exactly what Lucas had planned. It wasn't just another sequel to Star Wars, but a new venture in innovating the entertainment industry. In 1979, Lucas founded the computer division of Lucasfilm, which was originally intended to see what could be created using computers and what can be added to film using computer technology. The division that was responsible for computer graphics would be funded by Apple co-founder Steve Jobs and would eventually be spun off into the animated film studio Pixar. Meanwhile, the games division would carry out its original mission by producing games for computers and Atari systems at the time. This division would be called Lucasfilm Games. Lucasfilm Games would release media tie-ins and original titles, but one media tie-in would be a major pioneer in what Lucasfilm Games would eventually be known for, a point-and-click adventure adaptation of Labyrinth. Lucas himself trusted his team at Skywalker Ranch in the development of the game. The team would be led by David Fox, with input from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy author Douglas Adams. Fox wanted to make an adventure game that was more accessible than the ones that required typing in every single command, preferring the approach to pointing and clicking at different context clues. Fox would take the interface he had made for Labyrinth and incorporate it into Lucasfilm Games' first original adventure game, Maniac Mansion. Maniac Mansion, designed by Ron Gilbert and Gary Winnick, would be the first to use the SCUM engine. SCUM may have stood for Script Creation Utility for Maniac Mansion, but the engine would become one of their most important aspects of later adventure games under the Lucasfilm Games banner. The other important piece that would define the Lucasfilm Games experience, starting with Maniac Mansion, would be the comedic writing. After Maniac Mansion, the adventure genre team would produce more titles: Zack McCracken and the Mindbenders, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Loom. The Secret of Monkey Island would become the first game to be worked on by future lead designer of Grim Fandango, Tim Schafer. It was already planned for there to be more than one Monkey Island game, as Ron Gilbert had always saw the story as a trilogy. By this time, Lucasfilm Games had become LucasArts, and Monkey Island 2: LeChuck's Revenge would be the first game to be released under the LucasArts banner. Also by this time, the team of LucasArts would see growth. Star Wars tie-ins were starting to be made, but adventure games would not be left in the dust. Meanwhile, Tim Schafer would follow his own path after Monkey Island 2, starting with his first game as a co-lead, Day of the Tentacle, the sequel to the 1987 Maniac Mansion. He was joined by Dave Grossman, who had previously worked with Ron Gilbert on the Monkey Island games. As popular as all these games were, they weren't financial successes. So Schafer volunteered to come up with a new title that would both be as captivating as their previous games and be enticing enough to a mainstream audience to make a profit. Thus, Full Throttle was made and released in 1995. Full Throttle would be met with critical acclaim, but with criticism geared towards how simple it was compared to earlier titles. Despite Schafer's best efforts, Full Throttle did little to convince the market that the adventure game genre would be profitable. there was concern that this genre would eventually be considered stale. Grim Fandango would become Schafer's next answer to how the adventure genre can be appealing again, while evolving the look and gameplay of the genre itself.
This is a game that I wanted to do before I had actually pitched Full Throttle, but it was so strange and hard to really understand at first glance that I didn't dare push it through. And after completing Full Throttle, having a little more of a track record and a little more experience, decided to tackle this slightly much more ambitious story project, technically and artistically.
Grim Fandango would end up being a mystery involving travel agent Manny, who must follow client Meiji into the Ninth Underworld. Unlike previous LucasArts games, this game did not feature any cartoonish graphics. Instead, the game used pre-rendered backgrounds and 3D character models, the first since Labyrinth to not use the Scum engine. A new engine was built for Grim Fandango, the Grim E engine. This engine was built using the Sith engine used in Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 as its base. This enabled the game to make the environment easier to interact with when compared to relying on the mouse to point and click on things. It also enabled full motion videos to help advance the stories. The Grimmy engine also allowed Manny to subtly turn his head towards people or objects of interest in the game to compensate for the lack of HUD, again compared to previous LucasArts titles. Introduced in Grim Fandango was dialogue trees to make it easier for players to pick up on hints as to how the plot can be progressed. During development, Tim Schafer was heavily invested in the film noir genre, specifically the works of Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler. One of the biggest inspirations to the game's dialogue was the 1957 film The Sweet Smell of Success. The 1942 Casablanca was another big influence on the game's story, not just with the dialogue, but with the character design. Main antagonist Hector LeMans' personality and demeanor were modeled after one of the film's antagonists, Signor Ferrari, who was portrayed by Sidney Greenstreet. To ensure that everyone sounded as authentic as they looked for a game based on the Day of the Dead, a large portion of the cast was of Latino descent, led by Tony Plana as Manny and Maria Canals Barrera as Meiji. Schafer credits Plana for helping make the spoken dialogue for the game sound as authentic as possible.
Meiji.
Manny, what are you doing here?
I wanted to see how your trip was going, Angel. I am your travel agent, you know. By the way, thanks for that bottle of champagne you sent me. It really hit the spot.
You were headed for a trap. I was trying to warn you. Domino was using me like bait. I didn't want you to end up a prisoner here like me.
Prisoner? Where's your cell? Or are you just sharing a bunk with the warden?
Peter McConnell, whose music credits for LucasArts adventure games include LeChuck's Revenge, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Day of the Tentacle, and Full Throttle, was brought on to work on this game. For the score, McConnell featured live performers from the Mission District of San Francisco. As written on the Grim Fandango files on the archived LucasArts website, McConnell states that, depending on the club you walk into, you can hear live swing, salsa, modern jazz, acid jazz, punk rock, folk, blues, and mariachi bands nearly any night of the week. Most of the musicians who played on the Grim Fandango soundtrack either live in the Mission District and play these clubs regularly, or were found through contacts I made there. As expected, Grim Fandango would be met with widespread critical acclaim. Despite the critical acclaim, it still was not the financial success that LucasArts needed to continue work on the adventure game genre. The last adventure game that LucasArts would develop would be the 2000 Escape from Monkey Island, which used an updated version of Grim Fandango's Grim E engine. LucasArts would shift its focus to their Star Wars IP, going through multiple corporate shifts until the studio was acquired by Disney as part of their purchase of the entire Lucasfilm Studios and all of its intellectual properties. Meanwhile, Tim Schafer would lead a group of former LucasArts employees in founding Double Fine Studios, while Kevin Bruner, Dan Connors, and Troy Melander would become the founders of Telltale Games. Telltale would release new episodic adventure games based on the Monkey Island and Sam & Max properties, reaching new audiences, before reaching worldwide critical and financial success with their episodic adventure adaptation of The Walking Dead in 2012. Double Fine, on the other hand, would arguably become known for the Psychonauts games and so much more. Double Fine would also release modern console remasters of Tim Schafer's main LucasArts games, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, and of course, Grim Fandango. The adventure genre team at LucasArts did everything they could to create memorable and humorous stories with a quirky set of characters. These games became cult hits that would set standards for how adventure games could be presented in fun ways. But without the financial success, the adventure genre would almost entirely be forgotten at the turn of the century. But the dedicated audience of the original LucasArts adventure game releases would keep the spirit of the genre alive, and thanks to the efforts of Double Fine, more people can have access to Tim Schafer's classic LucasArts works for the longest time that could only be played on DOS or computers from the late 90s and early 2000s. Grim Fandango didn't give LucasArts the financial success it needed, but Grim Fandango showed that the creative minds behind the game would do what they could to evolve the adventure genre into being one of the most fun and innovative experiences in gaming.
It's all in the head movement. In the body. Wait there! It's a process. Guide with your arm. Not bad. But you gotta work on your follow-through.
Ready for a tongue lashing? Yoshi's Loose with juicier levels, tastier moves, and dripping with attitude. Yoshi's Story, for the first time on N64.
I think you're getting the hang of it.
Greetings, I am Cyrus.
You scared of him!
What do you know about the island?
I know a rascal man is stuck here till I fix this disruption!
What?
Nothing, I'm just doomed!
You ever run into any pirates? Anybody known as the Restless League?
You're the first person I've seen in a while, Flash! Nobody comes up here, especially pirates! Stay scared! Run away!
Run away from what?
The ghost!
I'm looking for a woman named Izaru. Have you heard of her?
I hear many things! I hear the pipes rumble, the gears turn, and the whistle of these hats. Funny, the rascal never hears any women!
What is this place?
What? Why scares me now? Some ancient dwarven observatory like my flag!
What?
Rickon ordered me to fix it, but the ghost keeps me flat away!
Have you ever been to the palace?
Once, before the ghost delivered some dwarven books to Rickon. Don't go in there unless you have something we want.
You say this place is dwarven?
Flash! That's what Rascal said! Them dwarves do a thing or two. Rickon sent his men to the ruins, and he's here to fix them. Flash, flash, flash! That's right,
Flash?
Flash, flash!
You mentioned the dwarven ruins.
Dwarves! Flash, flash, flash! Like to build everything in small pieces. Damn cookies! We're not leaving instructions on there! Flash! Join the ruins too big and scary for me! Yourself, go to the west!
Why did Rickton send you here to fix it? Hey man, stop screaming!
But Rickton killed Rascal, me not sick! I was living here on the stage and pretty mentally so he let me stay if I fix. If not, he may cut off the Rascal's arms and put me in a box!
Ghosts? What ghosts?
Flash! Ghosts in the lighthouse! now! Shine the light! Flash, flash, flash! Stand fast now! Wake the hell up!
What about the lighthouse?
Spaceport ghosts will get you! Get you! Flash, flash, flash! Their lights will haunt you!
Lights in the lighthouse? You're not making sense.
Damn lights on and off! Flash, flash, flash! Keep my ass up all night!
Calm down. Calm down. You look like you fixed it.
Oh, no! It's not working! Fix the orrery! But Rasmo can't fix telescope! You won't fall down! Don't try to get me! Target me! Flash, flash, flash! But I put most of it back together! No magic either! But Gero made Rasmo get hurt and burn his leg!
How does the orrery work?
The Rasmo doesn't know! But it watches the sky! Warns through the power of the stars! Watches all the constellations! And who they protected!
You burnt your legs in the gear room?
Steam down there hot as oblivion! Yow! Burnt my legs trying to fix the telescope! Need another gear!
Slow down, friend. What's in the gear room?
Gears! Flash! From unseen! The dwarves had very, very, very large brains! Danger! Scary place!
You need another gear to fix the telescope?
Dwarven gear! Not just any gear! Needs to go on the far side! Damn! I put myself away from my legs!
Constellations? Who do the constellations protect?
Flash! Each other! Didn't your parents teach you about the stars of Tamariel? The three guardians each protect three charges from the snake!
What are the guardian constellations?
Every schoolboy knows that the warrior, the thief, and the wizard, of course. The dwarves didn't believe in magic. So the wizard is the methodist to them.
What do you mean, charges?
Damn! You never read as a child. The guardians each protects three charges of their circle. Flash! The thief watches the lover in shadow. Warrior the speed, and on and on. You Redguards are slow.
What does the snake constellation do?
He slithers from the sky. Never taken with the stars. The dwarves. March to watch him just as each guardian watches their charges.
Stay calm, Erasmus.
A sumptuous feast of holiday delights. Gourmet treats for any occasion. The most intense PlayStation games ever. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil, the director's cut. Now supports DualShock analog controller.
What have we got here?
That guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me?
What could have done this? What was that? What are these things? All right, that's far enough. Don't move! Don't move. No! What's up with that guy? That was a clean hit. I'm running out of ammo here.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down! We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer. There! Buckle up.
Okay. What's going on? I arrived in town, and the whole place went insane.
The radio's out.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire. Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother, Chris.
Hey, could you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you. You okay?
Still in one piece.
That maniac's gonna ram us! Run! Claire!
Leon!
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
Arm's looking good, Cordell.
Haven't missed one yet.
Deadly long-range passing, linebackers without conscience, NFL blitz. It's a wretched assault on the sense of fair play.
Good.
No refs, no rules, no mercy.
The mystery. The magic. The game. Quest 64, the new adventure RPG for Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
Get in or get out.
Vine grow entwined, green and curl, chokes and bind, leaves unfurl, thorns each spine, tumble wall, reap and bind, cover all. Leaves mine, call the vine, call the dream, brings thee forth, world be seen. Flame-burning heat, fences charred, lazy sheet, black and tar, man-flesh meat, melting ears, dance and leap, man-fools here come to reap. Call the fire, call the red, brings thee forth as blood dead. Tide rise and fall, river flood, rain and squall, churning mud, gamblers all, sea waves wash, swampy squall, sewer slosh, drain pipe stall, call the wave, call the blue, brings thee forth world anew. Stone, grime, and quick shallow tile, column shake, break, Night smother light, black brick lamp, downward bright, dew and damp, smother tight, dark and high, fools see sight, stay inside, fear the night, call the dark, call the black, brings it forth, but I call it back. Open